Lesson 17. Law of Revolutionary Movement. This lesson we are going to study the law of revolutionary movement. It is first of all important in understanding the law of revolutionary movement to have correct view of the direct course of the revolutionary movement. The direct course of the revolutionary movement lies in the popular masses' higher sense of independence and political readiness. President Kim Il-sung said, "The direct course of a social revolution lies in a high sense of independence and political readiness among the masses." A revolution will come about only when the popular masses become conscious of their class position, have a keen desire to rid themselves of domination and subjugation, and live freely and ideologically and politically prepared to struggle to attain their desire. The masses of the people regard independence as their life and soul. Therefore, if their independence is trampled down and restricted, the popular masses wage the revolutionary movement against them. In order to live a life befitting human in the exploited society, the popular masses must be free from exploitation and oppression, and to its end, overthrow exploited system and class. Even in the socialist society, the masses of the people are restricted by natural factors and outdated ideology, technology, and culture, the leftovers of the exploited society. Under such condition, the continued revolution, in order to fully realize their independence, free from natural factors and restriction of outdated ideology, technology, and culture. When their independence is trampled down and restricted, the masses of the people conduct revolutionary movement against them. But they are not the direct course of the revolutionary movement. Unless the popular masses are awakened to ideological consciousness of independence and prepared politically, the revolutionary movement cannot be come about, even though their independence is infringed upon and restricted. The masses' high sense of independence is the direct course of revolution. That the masses have high sense of independence means they become conscious of their social class position and interests, have a keen desire and aim of struggle to rid themselves of all sorts of factors and subjugation, and live freely and have ideological preparedness and will to struggle for their realization. The popular masses, who are firmly armed with ideological consciousness of independence, can only turn out in the revolutionary struggle purposefully and consciously, without allowing their independence to be infringed upon and restricted. The masses' political readiness is also the direct course of revolutionary movement. That the popular masses are politically prepared means they are united systematically to form a powerful political force. If the revolutionary movement is to be caused and propelled, the popular masses, the masters and direct performers of the revolution, must have powerful revolutionary ability to realize with own efforts the independent demands and interests set forward as the fundamental purpose of their action. Way of possessing such revolutionary ability is to be united systematically and prepared politically. It is also important in understanding the law of revolutionary movement to correctly grasp the fundamental factor of victory in the revolution. The fundamental factor of victorious revolution is the motive force of the revolution. The motive force of the revolution must be strengthened and its role enhanced in order to advance and win victory in the revolutionary movement. That the motive force is the fundamental factor of victory in the revolution means that the strengthening the motive force and enhancing its role is more important than the objective conditions in winning victory in the revolution. Objective conditions have an important influence on advancing and winning victory in the revolution. However, it is not the objective conditions but the motive force of the revolution that play a decisive role in the revolutionary movement, and the fundamental factor of victory in the revolution is to strengthen the motive force of the revolution and enhance its role. Unless the motive force is prepared and implements its duty, even the favorable objective conditions are unable to be utilized properly and render assistance to victory in the revolutionary movement. If the motive force pushing ahead with the revolutionary movement is prepared, the objective conditions of revolution, even though they are unfavorable, can be changed into the favorable ones to win victory in the revolution. The decisive factor that enables the popular masses to be consolidated into the motive force of revolution and enhance their role is the leadership of the party and the leader. The popular masses can become the motive force of the revolution and discharge their role as such only when they are firmly united into one under the leadership of the party with the leader as the center. The motive force of the revolution means the integral whole of the leader, the party, and the people. The revolution and construction are advanced and victorious in the revolution by the single-hearted unity of the party and the people with the leader as the center. In order to strengthen the motive force of the revolution and enhance its role, the single-hearted unity of the leader, party, and the people should be achieved and consolidated steadily. It is also important in understanding the law of the revolutionary movement to correctly understand what the decisive factor of victory in the revolution is. A decisive factor of the victorious revolution is the leadership of a distinguished leader. Bruce's direct course of the revolution and fundamental factor of its victory can be matured and demonstrated to the full only under the distinguished guidance of the leader, thus making positive contributions to the hastening of victory in the revolution. The revolutionary course is started victoriously only under the prominent ideology and leadership of the leader. The popular masses are the direct performers of the revolution, but they do not turn out in the revolutionary movement of their own accord. They can have a consciousness of being the masters of their own destiny and a preparedness and resolution to devotedly struggle for their independence, and turn out in the revolutionary movement to open up a new era only by the scientific guiding ideology that clearly illuminates the road ahead of the era and the revolution, only by the purposeful education and only by the organizational training and practical struggle. Guiding ideology of the revolution is founded and popular masses are united into one political force only by the leader. The revolutionary course is developed and completed victoriously only by the outstanding ideology and leadership of the leader. In order to advance and complete the revolutionary course victoriously, it is imperative not only to develop steadily in depth the guiding ideology of the revolution in accordance with the changing and developing revolutionary practice, but also to strengthen the motive force of the revolution and enhance its role continuously. The leader steadily develops in depth the guiding ideology of the revolution as required by the developing revolution, strengthens the motive force of the revolution, and enhance its role to achieve victory in the revolution. That the revolutionary course is started, developed, and consummated with success only by the leader is the precious truth proved by history of revolutionary movement for socialism. History of the protracted revolutionary struggle for socialism clearly proves that if it is under the correct leadership of the leader, the revolutionary course is started, developed, and consummated victoriously without any deviations, but if not, the revolutionary suffers from turns and twists and is brought to naught in the long run. It is also important in understanding the law of the revolutionary movement to correctly recognize the historical development process of the victorious revolution. The revolutionary movement for the masses' independence is developed and accomplished through the process of historical struggle for national liberation, class and human emancipation. The popular masses' social-political independence is realized by the National Liberation Revolution and the Class Emancipation Revolution, and the masses' complete independence is achieved by the Revolution for Human Emancipation. In order to win the masses' social-political independence, it is imperative to realize primarily the independence of a country and nation free from national subordinations. Revolution for national liberation is to liquidate domination and subordination by foreign imperialists and realize the independence of country and nation. Important tasks of the Revolution for national liberation is to eliminate foreign imperialist aggressors and their allies, the national traitors and stooges, and build an independent sovereign state exercising full-fledged independence of country and nation. Motive force of the National Liberation Revolution is not only workers and peasants, but broad masses who love their country and nation. United efforts of the whole nation is a decisive strength for the National Liberation Revolution. The important way for carrying out the National Liberation Revolution is to unfold an organized armed struggle. The imperialist aggressors set up the huge, fascist, repressive machineries in colonies to suppress brutally the masses' revolutionary advance for national liberation. In such circumstances, the National Liberation Revolution can emerge victorious only through the organized armed struggle. The revolutionary movement is developed in this, from the Revolution for National Liberation into the one for complete class emancipation of the masses. The class emancipation is the revolution that enables the popular masses to be the masters of the state and society, free from class exploitation and suppression. The popular masses could not but have to continue the socialist revolution in order to realize their social-political independence, ultimately free from the class exploitation and oppression. The basic condition for the masses' social-political independence is the complete abolition of all sorts of exploitation and oppression. Socialist revolution is the revolutionary movement to liquidate exploitive class and system once and for all and realize social-political independence of the popular masses. Historic course of class emancipation is accomplished through the socialist revolution. Only through the socialist revolution can the masses liquidate once and for all the exploitation of man by man, domination of class by class, and realize their social-political independence. After the national liberation and class emancipation, the task of human emancipation comes to the fore in the revolutionary movement for the masses' independence. Human emancipation revolution is the highest phase of the masses' revolutionary struggle made on the basis of the national liberation and class emancipation. Human emancipation is to liberate the masses from the natural fetters and the restrictions of outdated ideas and culture and fully realize their independence. The important tasks of human emancipation are to provide people with affluent and rich material life by harnessing nature and developing productive forces, to root out backward ideas and culture, the leftovers of old society, from the minds of the people and make the revolutionary ideas and culture prevail across the society. Historic tasks of human emancipation are carried out through the three revolutions: ideological, technological, and cultural. The three revolutions are the important contents of the continuous revolution to achieve complete independence of the masses after national liberation and class emancipation. The popular masses can completely free themselves from the natural fetters and the outdated ideas and culture, accomplish the task of human emancipation, and completely realize their independence only by the three revolutions: ideological, technological, and cultural. Thank you for this lesson. Next lesson, we will study the principle of maintaining the independent stand.